has a problem.
Is it really a concern if they're given antibiotics?
Oh, it's a huge concern. Those bacteria cross to us.
Breakfast will never be the same.
Do you think my kids should stop eating bacon?
23,000 people die.
If the World Health Organization is concerned, I feel I should be too.
Does America have a bacon problem?
Plus, our bloat-busting plan. Coming up next.
Are you ready to save some lives today?
I love you, Dr. Oz.
New headlines have the World Health Organization sounding the alarm on antibiotics in our meat supply, demanding their use in animals raised for food cease completely. It's their strongest recommendation to date. And while the chicken industry has reduced their use of antibiotics, the other white meat, pork, has lagged behind. So what's slowing them down, and how does it affect your health? Today we are investigating, does America have a bacon problem? How many of you folks are bacon lovers out there? Yeah. I had a feeling. Everyone likes bacon. Everyone loves it. But some of you have concerns. So I was asking around before the show. I understand you may have one. What's your first name?
Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. What's your concern about bacon, despite your love for it?
If the World Health Organization is concerned, I feel I should be too. Do you think my kids should stop eating bacon?
All right, so you love it, but WHO, the organization speaks for the World Health, says it's a concern. Maybe your kids shouldn't be enjoying it. Other concerns? Yeah, go ahead.
My family's a ham sandwich kind of family. My kids love it, and ribs are a special family treat.
Yeah.
I actually buy antibiotic-free chicken, but I hadn't even thought about it with pork. I worry that we should probably give it up, but also concerned that my family might freak out.
What part of the country are you from?
Kingsport, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Are people talking about the other white meat, pork, being an issue down there with the antibiotics?
A little bit.
A little bit. It's interesting because different parts of the country are picking up on this. Thank you very much. I can probably go to every one of you. You probably have questions, some of them similar to these, and thank you for asking them. But the big question is, I know you're afraid. I know you're concerned. You get all these recommendations. What are you going to do about it? I don't want you running away from food that you love. If you want your ham or your bacon, I want you to be able to enjoy it, but we got to do it the right way. So today we're investigating how you can get the best for your family. And I've got the author of Big Chicken and investigative food journalist Maryn McKenna here. She has spent years on the front lines of farms and has been one of the most vocal and most instrumental voices warning consumers about antibiotics in food. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you heard the audience. Where do we stand with pork?
Pork has a problem. Out of all the meats in the United States, chicken has moved much further ahead in relinquishing antibiotics, and pork is lagging behind.
Why is that? Why wouldn't they both sort of fix their problems together?
Well, it's really two reasons. The first is that chicken really wanted to do this. Starting in about 2014, the big chicken companies, led by Purdue Farms, decided that they were going to research how to take antibiotics out of the meat system without hurting the birds or harming their bottom line. The second is that pigs are more complicated. They live longer than chickens do. They have more complicated lives. They're more vulnerable to disease.
How many of you guys live on farms? Oh my goodness. Good, because most folks don't know much about it. I didn't before this show because I don't live on a farm either. So let's look at the life cycle of a pig compared to a chicken. And maybe it'll make sense what we've just been hearing from Aaron. So first up, chickens. So chickens are hatched, beautiful little things. And once they're hatched, they are shipped to a farm, right? And in that farm, they're put in a barn where they basically live out their entire life, wandering around there, right? Until they're eventually trucked out to slaughter. And they end up living about 42 days, right? Roughly 6 weeks. It's a pretty uncomplicated life. I just described the whole thing to you in about 15, 20 seconds. But what about pigs? Pigs, once they're born, they will spend roughly 2 to 3 weeks in a barn nursing from their mom. There's the poor mom up there, right? And they nurse and nurse and nurse. And after they get weaned, they are relocated to a second barn, right? Where they spend 6 to 8 weeks. Here they are wandering around, right? That's the second place they've been. Then they're moved again to a finishing barn where they're fattened up. They are fully fattened and they're ready for slaughter at around 6 months, right? A lot longer. And the more they move around and the longer they live, the more likely it is to introduce disease into these animals. So then the question is, Maryn, what is the real risk of buying pork raised on antibiotics? I understand why there are reasons, thoughtful people might think it makes sense, but is it really a concern if they're given antibiotics?
Oh, it's a huge concern. And the reason is because whenever we use antibiotics on a farm, It generates drug-resistant bacteria that can move off the farm in the meat that the animals become or through the farm environment and then to people that way. So those bacteria cross to us and create drug-resistant infections. In the United States, every year, 2 million people are made sick enough by drug-resistant infections to go to a hospital or seek a doctor's care, and 23,000 people die.
Give me a rough number. How many, 23,000 is number of people in car accidents, number of people in homicides?
That
what
is
does it
more
compare?
people that die from homicide in the United States.
More than homicides?
That's right.
But we do something pretty serious about homicides. I would think we take this sort of seriously as well. Are there loopholes in the regulations?
Unfortunately, there are. So there are 3 reasons why antibiotics are used on farms. The first is to treat sick animals, and no one disagrees with that. The second is to make animals grow faster. They call that growth promotion. And the third is to prevent diseases from spreading in crowded barns and feedlots. Now, those last 2 are dangerous. Back in January of 2017, the FDA said that we could no longer do growth promotion in the United States, but they didn't say anything about prevention. And the World Health Organization, as you mentioned, has said that all nations in the world should cease any kind of preventive use and keep antibiotics just for treating animals that are sick.
And why is the World Health Organization worried about using antibiotics for prevention of disease if our own country is not, if the FDA is not worried about it?
Well, that's a really interesting question. It's possible that the FDA wants to give pigs and also cattle time to catch up. But I think the more important question is, which meat companies are the ones that are most concerned about consumers' health? And the answer to that, I think, is it's the companies that are using the least antibiotics.
Yeah, why leave it to the government when we can do it ourselves? I would think there's a market for this. Now that you're all learning about this, if you love your pork, your ham, your bacon, and there are companies making products that don't have the antibiotics, we should patronize them.
They need support.
And there are great companies out there, thank you, Maryn, who have no antibiotics in their pork. And one of those companies is Niman Ranch. And I've got the founder here, Paul Willis. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Now your policy is no antibiotics ever. They don't ever get to see it. So if that's the case, how do you keep your pigs healthy? We just heard that we're supposed to be using antibiotics. We're told anyway.
Well, really, we really depend on the animal welfare and the animal husbandry, how the animals were raised. So our animals at Niman Ranch are either raised in pastures or bedded pens. We don't have confinement operations of any kind. And that relieves the stress on the animal and allows them to just stay healthier.
Do you think the stress that the animal's sensing affects the infections?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah. The other thing is weaning age. Our pigs are weaned, you were saying about 2 or 3 weeks. Ours a minimum of 5 weeks. So the baby pigs get more antibodies. They get more of their mother's milk and they're off to a better start. Also, we're a network of family farmers, and the farmers themselves own and take care of the animals on a day-to-day basis. So the husbandry plays in there.
You probably eat the animals yourselves as well. So you want, I would think, the best of all worlds.
Absolutely.
So there's a couple countries, Denmark comes to mind, where they have banned, I understand, antibiotics for 2 decades, 20 years. They have not allowed antibiotics around their pork. So why are we lagging so far behind? How did they pull it off?
Well, I think because Denmark is a homogeneous country, they have the political will, maybe just decided to do it. We have been without antibiotics never ever since 2001. So we've been, as Niman Ranch, we've been doing a long time.
And this is what it looks like? I mean, it looks tasty.
Yes.
In fact, I don't know if it would have antibiotics and look any less tasty, but if it can look this great and not have antibiotics, double the benefit to me.
Exactly.
So can I share some information with you?
Sure.
I'd like to get your response on this. We reached out to the National Pork Producers Council for a statement. Are you a member of that council?
No.
Yeah, but they represent a lot of the pork farmers?
Yeah.
They do. All right. So they're the people we were told to reach out to. So the World Health Organization, this is what they say. The World Health Organization called for farmers to stop disease prevention. Uses of antibiotics in food animal production is ill-advised and wrong. That's what they say. Denying pigs, cows, and chickens necessary antibiotics would be unethical, immoral, and leading to animal suffering and possibly death, and could compromise the nation's food supply. So I'm only learning about this from speaking to experts. You're one of those experts. What do you think about that statement?
Well, obviously in Denmark, they've already been able to do this. We've been doing this for years, and I think they should look at the system that they're raising the animals in, and maybe the problem is there, not the antibiotics themselves.
There's a pretty strong words they're using to condemn what the WHO, World Health Organization, is saying. Are those appropriately strong words? Ill-advised, compromising the nation's food supply?
Well, I think they need to look elsewhere for the problems.
Yeah. Look inside sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Let me say this. I sat on this stage, this very stage, and asked Jim Perdue, Purdue Company, why he took antibiotics out of his chicken. You know what he all said? He said he did it because of you, because of the letters and voicemails that they got. So your voice matters. It really does. If you want more antibiotic-free pork, then just speak up. There are people who are making them, and there's some folks who don't hear you yet, so be a little bit louder. Coming up, I was shocked to find out that China was so worried about our pork that they refused to import it. That's right, China is not importing it. Yet we're serving it here. I'm a little worried about this. That's why we investigated the real reason for the ban. And today we have the very latest on that story. She was kept in a cage.
He abused me in every possible way.
Did your mom have any idea that this was happening?
She married him.
The stunning twist no one expected. All New Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow.
If you're like most people, you've probably never heard of the drug ractopamine. But if you love pork chops as much as I do, there's a chance you've consumed it. That's because 70% of the pork sold in this country comes from pigs that have been fed ractopamine.
So what exactly is ractopamine? It's a drug, similar to adrenaline, that makes pigs gain muscle mass. The first hit says it's banned in many countries.
That's alarming.
I headed to the countryside of Virginia so I could meet
The founder of Tendergrass Farms, a company that sells organic pork. So if other countries are banning it, why are American farmers using so much of it?
Well, it's about simple economics. Ractopamine is a drug that makes it so that the pig can eat less grain and yet still create more muscle and less fat on the carcass.
You must have talked about this with some of your colleagues in the industry. What did they say?
One very interesting conversation was with a global meat purchaser with a very well-known natural retailer, and I asked him, what do you think about ractopamine? His response, racto what? So it became pretty clear to me that this is a very well-kept industry secret.
That same sentiment was reiterated by my friend, farmer Joel Salatin.
The industry thrives in a shroud of secrecy, and that's why they don't let people come and visit their slaughterhouses. They don't let people come and visit their farms. They've got no trespassing signs. The truth is that if the average American knew how their food was produced, they would make very, very different food choices.
My last stop was to find out how ractopamine affects animal and human health. I tracked down veterinarian Dr. Michael Blackwell.
Dr. Blackwell, you are a veterinarian. You were with the FDA for 20 years.
Yes.
How safe is ractopamine for humans and for pigs?
For pigs, FDA has received more than 200,000 adverse experience reports of either injury or death. Pigs will range from being too aggressive, having tremors, to actually going down and being unable to stand and walk.
If people are eating pork from pigs that are fed ractopamine, are they eating ractopamine?
I would say yes, and that's a problem.
He's worried. That was food journalist and contributor Mark Shasker taking an exclusive look, investigating just how widespread ractopamine has become in American pork. That was one of our most popular food investigations, sounding the alarm on the real reason why China didn't want to import our pork. But today, we have a big update for you. We're about to bring about a little change in the system. But first off, what the heck is ractopamine anyway? Well, it comes in these little boxes like this a lot of times, and it's made up of these little itty pellets. It looks pretty harmless. You all see this here? Right? It sort of looks like the food pellets you may feed your pets at home, but it's very, very different. See, ractopamine is called a beta agonist. It's the same class of drugs that you'd be prescribed if you had asthma. I've done research on this, actually. That's added to feed in the last month of life of a pig's life because it allows them to rapidly put on weight, similar to performance-enhancing drugs used by many bodybuilders, right? You want to build big muscles without all the fat. Pigs grow 10% faster. So that means more meat, and more meat means more money. Estimated $3 to $5 per pig because they got so much more meat on them. Right? Now, the makers of ractopamine say pigs have a very rapid metabolism rate, so it leaves their system quickly, meaning in theory, it shouldn't be in the pork you see on store shelves. But, here's the big but, some meat testing when it really gets to your shelves, has found low levels of residue in pork products. There's been no real testing that I'm aware of anyway that exists in humans, and there's nothing to say that it's unsafe, but there's nothing to say that it's safe either. And many countries have banned ractopamine, including, look, Europe, Russia, and China. You know what? China doesn't have the best track record for food safety. So when they ban something, it makes a lot of people take notice. And now, an important update. I'm happy to report today, 2 of America's largest pork producers, Seaboard Foods and Triumph Foods, have removed ractopamine from all their pig feed. It's gone. And Smithfield Foods is now offering a ractopamine-free option. Look for the no growth promotants on the label. And I commend these companies for the shift. This is how we're going to do this, guys. We can wait for the government to change things forever. But you get companies to hear us because you're making noise, and this is what goes on. It's a huge win for you. So keep speaking up and keep voting with your dollars. Because remember, you vote 3 times a day with your pocketbook when you buy food. Coming up, the Bacon Lover's Guide to Buying Pork. There's some good tips out there. We'll be right back with them.
The secret to better sleep.
It's your genetic wake-sleep schedule.
This changes everything.
Find out exactly which one of these animals you are and what they mean for your sleep and for your waistline.
All new Oz.
That's coming up on Wednesday. Bacon! Oh, I know so many of you love it. You're always telling me about it. Am I right? All right, we'll play a little game. I want one-word descriptions of why you like bacon. What is it about it that just makes you salivate? One word.
Juicy.
Juicy.
Tender.
Tender.
Burnt and crispy.
Oh, it's 2. It's even better. Look at her eyes. She's really happy talking about this.
Crispy with maple syrup.
Yeah. A little crunchy. All kinds of fun words.
Smoky.
Smoky. There we have it. That's the kind I like as well. I can feel the passion in the room. So I want to help you all eat it in the healthiest way possible. So I brought in Emily Peterson. She's the chief instructor of the Institute of Culinary Education. Are you chief or chef instructor?
I am a chef instructor.
And
you can call me chief. I like that.
I go with chief and chef.
Sure.
Perfect.
Great.
And we have this Bacon Lovers Buyer's Guide. I think you're all going to take advantage of. We're going to start off with what to look for on your bacon label because there's lots of buzzwords floating around out there. So first of all, we've been talking about antibiotics. Is there a way to know for sure if your pork that you're buying does not have any antibiotics in it?
If you buy certified organic pork, you can be assured there's no antibiotics used.
So this is good.
That's good.
Right.
Now, the next 2, raised without hormones and natural, you can cross those off. Those are buzzwords.
You're kidding me.
They don't mean anything.
Raised without hormones doesn't advance the cause.
Nope.
And what's wrong with the word natural? Natural sounds pretty good.
It's a marketing term. It doesn't actually mean that the porks are raised in the way that we're imagining them.
I guess they're all natural, right? They're all animals.
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much.
Raised without antibiotics.
So that's a good thing. If you see that on the label, you can trust the label. Okay. And what you really want is pasture-raised pork.
Oh.
And what I tell my students, ideally purchase directly from the farmer at your local farmer's market.
So this might be more humane. Might be
correct.
Happier pigs.
Happier pigs. Exactly. Exactly.
Let's move on to the ingredient level.
Sure.
Now, ingredients are important. They're there for a reason. They're legally required to have them, and, and have them be accurate, so you can trust that part of it. But what should we be looking for on the ingredient level?
So you want ingredients that you can pronounce and that you recognize. So here we have this list. This is something that any home cook would recognize as edible food, and that's what we want in our bacon. Nothing more and really nothing less. That's what you want.
All right, so break it down for us. You've taught us about the ingredients, but you're a chef.
I am.
And as a chef, you must have a little bias. So I want you to give us the butcher's bacon secret, the true cut for a real bacon lover.
Sure.
What do we want?
Pancetta.
Pancetta?
Pancetta. This is what it looks like when it comes from the butcher. It'll either be straight like we recognize bacon, or it'll be rolled. It is the same cut of meat as the bacon. It comes from the pork belly. It is cured often with rosemary and thyme, rubbed in salt, air cured, and then we cook it just like we cook bacon. So we can put it in a hot oven on a sheet tray so that the pan collects the juices as it, collects the fat as it drips away, or you can saute it just like you do bacon and eggs.
All the words you guys are describing over there in the audience, that's what I'm tasting.
Yeah, salty, crispy.
And what's the difference between this and bacon?
So bacon is smoked, pancetta is cured. So they're both bacon and pancetta are cured, but bacon has been smoked, pancetta has not, and often it has the additional rosemary and thyme and other aromatic herbs.
Should we share this with the audience?
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
You guys interested at all in this? Even a little bit? Now, I want to see some hands up. You guys really want some? Get your hands up there. Make some noise. You're going to take these things around. They got them there. What do you guys think? The taste is good? Yes. You're a pancetta lover now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here, pass that around up there. Oh, geez. Oh, they got 2 pieces. Chef Emily, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It tastes fabulous. Listen, I want you to have the foods that you love. I don't want to be a killjoy here. Just let's push the right kinds of foods in front of our families.
That's correct.
And you can have your pork, your bacon, whatever source you want. Just get it the right way. The Bacon Buyer's Guide will be on DrOz.com. Take advantage of it. Share it with your friends. We'll be right back. Is it good? She was kept in a cage.
He abused me in every possible way.
Did your mom have any idea that this was happening?
She married him.
The stunning twist no one expected. All new Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow. If you've ever felt so bloated that you worried your pants would pop, well, pay attention, because today it's the biggest bloat experiment that we have ever done. Now, there are women backstage in our bloat booth right now. There they are, with the ultimate bloat-busting power team, Dr. Kellyanne Petrucci and nutritionist Maya Feller. Now, we are using the latest technology to micro-measure their bellies, testing the most popular bloat cures to determine which ones will really work best for you. Putting science to work to figure out what actually deals with one of your biggest problems. But first, we're going to reveal the only bloat quiz you may ever need to get to the bottom of your bloat. Maya and Dr. Kellyanne, come on out and join us. They're back from the bloat booth. Thank you for both being here. So let's talk about bloat a little bit. I get asked about it so much, and I've begun to appreciate that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah. It really isn't. I mean, there's so many reasons. That's why it's important to identify and then adjust accordingly.
Absolutely. You know, we see people making food choices that affect their bloat, but we know that it can also be lifestyle. And once you find the root cause, the solution is pretty simple.
So is it that simple? We're going to find out. I think it is too, but you got to identify yourself. So we get to the quiz to reveal the real reason behind your bloat. Now, everyone in the audience has a clipboard. Please pull them out. You're going to follow along with us, and at home, go to DrOz.com. It's right there. Or just pay attention to the screen for a few minutes, and you'll know what kind of bloat you are. Circle the letter that best describes you over the past 3 months. Last 3 months. Maya, take it away with the first question.
Okay, so which of these best describes your exercise habits? A, I rarely or never exercise. B, I frequently do strenuous exercise. Or C, I do a normal amount of exercise.
Okay, normal amount's how many minutes, you think?
Well, I mean, you
Half
know.
hour?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so nothing crazy. But if you're just sitting at home all day long doing nothing, then you're an A on this thing. Okay, let's move along to a topic that many of us don't even think about or associate with bloat. It's the medications you may be taking, including simple stuff. Maya, next question.
Okay, so which meds do you take most often? A, over-the-counter pain meds, B, water pills, or C, anti-gas and antacids?
Well, people with bloating might do C a fair amount. Kellyanne, medications.
Yeah,
You're an expert. Why does it matter?
It matters because it can actually change your gut bacteria. That's what can happen. This causes bloating.
And it sneaks up on you when you least expect it. All right, next question, Kellyanne.
Yeah. The next question. Which of these indulgences do you most associate your symptoms with? Is it white bread?
Oh, I do love white bread.
White bread.
I know you're out there, the white bread lovers.
Here's the big one. Here's the big one. Is it wine?
Wine's a problem?
Wine can be a problem. Or C, cookies. We love cookies.
It might be worth the bloating for the wine, but we'll see. So again, A, B, or C, fill it out. And later in the show, you're all going to meet Jana. Now, Jana says, she's in the bloat booth right now. She says she's just cutting out just one of these items, help reduce her bloat in a big time way. Kellyanne, next question.
Yeah. Which of these best describes your biggest bowel movement problems? A, I can go days without pooping. B, my poop is hard and rocky. Or C, I more often have loose stools than constipation.
Now, we're not checking on you guys. This is an at-home honor system test. But think about that question. Okay, come on over here. They're going to reveal the answers. And remember, they're broken down into either being A's mostly, B's mostly, or C's mostly. So tally up which letter is most commonly seen in your clipboard. You all doing that now? Everyone's on the same page? At home, there was only 4 questions. We can keep up with us. So if you answered mostly A's, your bloat is most likely because you are, well, how do I say this? Backed up, stuck, not coming out. You see what I mean? Mostly B's, your bloat is most likely caused by dehydration. And mostly C's, your bloat is most likely a result of diet problems. Now, when we come back, we've got women who have changed their lives, taking advantage of some of the tips we're going to give you. And it's going to change your bloat too. Stay with us.
The secret to better sleep.
It's your genetic wake-sleep schedule.
This changes everything.
Find out exactly which one of these animals you are and what they mean for your sleep and for your waistline.
All new Oz.
That's coming up on Wednesday. We're back reviewing the results of the biggest bloat experiment we have ever done. Our bloat-busting power team, Dr. Kellyanne Petrucci and nutritionist Maya Feller, just revealed the ultimate quiz to find out why you are bloated. And now that you know what's causing it, we have this solution specialized just for you. To test the best bloat cures, 3 women wore these smart shorts that connect to an app and micro-measure your midsection. So Maya's going to help us tackle the first bloat cure. But let me just point this out. So this is a little device here. You see little strands? So they actually very specifically looked at how big you are. So we can put a number on the bloat, because you guys just say it's bad. We wanted an actual number to tell what makes a big difference. So come on over, Maya. And I'll meet Kellyanne back in a second. So Jenny took our quiz and found that she was bloated from being backed up, which I thank you for being honest about.
Yes, no problem.
And so how long has that bloat been bothering you?
For as long as I can remember. There was not a time where I can't picture it.
Even as a kid?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
All right, the advice, Maya, what would work?
Okay, so we gave you like the not so easy task of getting to 25 grams of fiber per day. This is, by the way, what everyone should be taking in, right?
Yeah.
We armed you with the most high fiber foods and a secret weapon. Psyllium husk powder, 1 teaspoon in a glass of water will get you 1/5 of the way there.
So the foods, again, there's, just the different oats, the fruits, the vegetables. You can get it in many different ways with the extra little psyllium husks. Okay, what did you do with it?
Okay, so I mixed the powder with the water. And then for breakfast, I would have steel-cut oats, a little bit of chopped apples, chopped dates, sprinkled it with cinnamon. For lunch, I'd have a salad. And then for dinner, I was doing a homemade hummus. So it's chickpeas, tahini, olive oil, garlic. Just throw it in a food processor, quick and easy. And then these are roasted spinach chips.
Did you feel better doing this?
I did. I didn't know how I was going to feel at first, but I ended up feeling much more comfortable in my body.
Now, I know you say you felt better. I was curious what you were going to say, but I wanted to actually measure it. So we use that little contraption. And these are the results from the bloat booth. There she is. When you started the experiment, your belly measured in at 104.3 centimeters. Today, you measured in at 99.8, under 100. You lost 4.5 centimeters. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was happy.
That's almost 2 inches. Well, that's a good dress size, I would think.
I'll take it.
You feel pretty good right now?
I do.
Let me just feel it. Yes. Perfect. A cure. All right, next up, we've got a bloat cure. Oh, Kellyanne stuck up on me. This is a bloat cure with Asia. Now, she took our quiz and found out that her bloat is due to dehydration. So, Kellyanne, what's the bloat cure that you offered?
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing about dehydration. When you don't get enough water, when you don't get enough 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, your body actually holds on to water. You retain water, so you become more bloated, actually, in fact. So we have a secret weapon here. And
I love secret weapons.
This is the secret weapon. We love this drink. It's totally hydrating, it's totally anti-bloating, and it tastes delicious.
It does.
It's got some cranberry juice, unsweetened cranberry juice in there. It's got some grapefruit juice in there, some ginger. We add some water, and I love to sweeten things with monk fruit, so it has a sweet, tangy taste. It's delicious, hydrating, and an anti-inflammatory.
It's the perfect drink. But the question is, does it work for the bloat? Did you feel better or worse? No difference?
I did. I feel so much better.
So much better?
So much better.
Right. Let's put a number on so much.
Okay.
All right, so here's the thing. Into the bloat booth she went, 106.3 centimeters when she started, a little over a week ago. Today, 95.2 centimeters. You lost 11 centimeters. That's
so
a
much
lot.
better. So much better.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. She's all smiley. Look at her skin. She's all glowy.
What
and
does your
smiling.
family say about this?
Skeptical at first, of course, but they were like, they see the difference also. So they're going to try it now too.
Are they using this now?
They're going to start now.
Oh, they're jealous of you.
I'm going to make them a whole quart.
All right, come over. Finally, we want to get to the last session. Maya's waiting here for the final bloat cure. And Jonah's joining us. How are you, Jonah?
Doing well. How are you?
Jonna, it is.
Jonna.
And she argued, because she filled out her quiz with C's, that mostly of her bloating was because of her diet. Yeah. So which foods, Maya, are the biggest ones you fear when people have issues with food causing a bloat?
Okay, so we're going to want to eliminate dairy, artificial sweeteners, salty foods, and packaged goods. You know, these are found in a lot of diet foods as well as conventional packaged goods. People feel like they're doing themselves this huge favor by eating low-fat, low-calorie, gluten-free. Yep. But what they don't realize is that many of those foods might not be easily digested, thus drawing water into the bowel and increasing the bloat.
Well, giving stuff up is one thing, but then the question is, what's the bloat cure here? What do you do to replace these things that you're eating because you sort of want them?
It's the probiotic combo, we call it. So the first thing you want to do is get rid of those bloat offenders that we've done. Then you want to repopulate the gut bacteria. And this is so important. And we do this by balancing the prebiotic foods and the probiotic foods. Prebiotic foods like asparagus, things like kimchi. That's a really great kefir. And even if you're allergic to dairy or have a dairy problem, there's coconut kefir, which is great. Or you can take the supplement.
Jonah, did you try that, this probiotic combo?
I did try it, and I felt a lot lighter. I felt that it was actually making me more aware of what I was putting in my body, which was interesting.
So Jonah, moment of truth. Your belly measured at 114.3 centimeters, and today it's 108, which means you lost 5.6 centimeters. You have big differences. Congratulations to all of you. I'm very happy, to my experts as well. You can find all of these bloat cures on DrOz.com. I'll be right back. She was kept in a cage.
He abused me in every possible way.
Did your mom have any idea that this was happening?
She married him.
The stunning twist no one expected. All new Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow.
Today I have the healthy ingredient you need to start using this year. It is both cheap and it's easy to find. You all in on this? Yeah, I thought you might be. It's a grain called onyx sorghum. Take a look. White and red sorghum are grains that have been growing in Africa for thousands of years before making its way to the States. Fast forward to today, and you can now find it growing tall, like corn, throughout Texas and the drier regions of the States. It's used for animal feed, and it's drought resistant, making it ideal for farmers. But there's a newer variety that has piqued people's interest, called onyx sorghum. Now, it's called onyx sorghum because of its color, which it gets as a direct reaction to the sun. Onyx sorghum is a resistant starch, unlike regular starch, which the body breaks down as sugar. Onyx sorghum is not digested, so it acts more like fiber and helps control blood sugar. Onyx sorghum is also known for its powerful antioxidant properties and high tannins. A win-win. So I always think of sorghum as a way that we've made sugar, but this new kind of onyx sorghum essentially does the opposite. And now onyx sorghum has made its way into a new high-fiber, antioxidant-rich cereal called Grainberry. That's my trusted sponsorship partner today. Now here to tell us more are the Grainberry founders themselves. They're proud and they're loud, father and son, Bob and Peter Harris. I gotta say, 91 years old. Why do you decide now to create a whole new way of eating cereal?
I didn't decide now. I've done it all my life. My father died at age 40.
Oh.
My brothers died at age 50. I just spent my entire life creating foods that would make you live longer and stronger.
So Peter, before I get to the Grainberry, I have a 91-year-old father who rides me all the time in my same profession. So what is it like having your dad look over you this many years later?
And we still probably argue about 23 times a day. Sometimes I feel a little bit guilty, but
it's good for them.
But business is business.
So why does this help you? What makes it a better cereal?
It's healthy because Grainberry with onyx sorghum contains antioxidants, and you won't believe how powerful those antioxidants really are. But it's more than antioxidants. It's sugar control. We have less sugar to start with, and the sugar it does contain is slow to absorb, so it doesn't spike your blood.
Don't forget to tell them about fiber, which you're always telling me about.
Well, you already said it, fiber. It has fiber. That's exactly what I do. I love that. You take the words out of your mouth as I'm reminding you.
Right.
It's devilish, isn't he, when he does that?
Well, the fiber is especially important for onyx sorghum because we actually grow the fiber in the plant. We don't get fiber from some other plants
and add it.
And add it. So it's an important part of the package.
So part of the reason that I like having a routine, because if you automate your meals, it prevents you from overeating. And if you're trying to get on a healthy lifestyle, you don't have to think about it and reinvent the wheel every morning. You just have your routine. So for those of you who have busy mornings, it ought to be part of your game plan. In fact, so much so that I asked some of my Bite Club members.
Can I just say one
test it.
thing before?
Yes,
I don't
please.
mean to interrupt you, but
I feel like your father now. Keep going.
I've been working with him a long time, and I have known you for a little bit of shorter time, but I have never met two people that care more about people's health and living longer than you and my father.
Well, you are very kind.
And it's I realize media and TV is quote unquote entertainment, but you take it a whole nother level.
Well, you were very kind to say that. Speaking of entertainment, it doesn't matter how healthy something is if it doesn't taste good. You agree?
Yes.
Got to taste good. So I want my Bite Club members to test it out. And they did that for a week. So come on over here. We're going to go interview them. And I told them to take it one step further. I wanted to hear from them what they could do with it. So you guys can sit over here. How are you guys?
Hello,
So
good.
Melody, what did you like the most about the cereal?
Hi, girl.
So for me, it was just something great. It was easy to do in the morning before school and going to work, and it was just like a great pick-me-up. I didn't have to add anything to it. I can just have it by itself. Gave me energy to start my day.
And you like the taste?
Yes.
Sariko, did it give you energy, and would you continue eating it? Is it taste acceptable?
It was delicious, absolutely delicious. I love the multigrain by itself, so I did a coconut multigrain parfait with, of course, toasted coconuts, a little bit of dried cranberry on the bottom, honey, vanilla, Greek yogurt, and bananas on top. Fabulous.
And I asked about energy.
All through the afternoon. Literally, I take it for the breakfast, and I have the parfait for lunch. So the cereal I have for breakfast to go to the gym to get my workout out. You know me, I'm all about my fitness. So if anyone knows me, I'm all about my
And
fiber.
she added bananas.
I like that.
And bananas, and my cookies.
And what is this? What did you make here?
So I made a chia seed pudding, and I topped it with the apple cinnamon cereal. I did that because chia seed pudding is kind of bland, so you want to add something to add a little bit of taste to it.
Okay.
And the cereal was just like perfect for adding flavor. So I added some almonds, apples.
Good combination. The chia seed's very clever.
Exactly.
What are those bars over there?
So I had my blender involved in this one, but I did semi-sweet chocolate chips. I did yogurt,
Peter,
Greek
taste it.
yogurt. Go ahead. I did Greek yogurt, sunflower seeds. I did almonds, cashews, and I grinded them up. And then I put, I just blended it all together, put it in the oven, and I put a little bit of cinnamon, honey.
I thought you were leaving.
Bob wants some granola.
I thought you were going somewhere. Can I come too?
But I put it in the oven for a little, and then I froze
this
it.
creative activity because we do a little something ourselves. We add bran flakes to French toast for crunchy French toast. It is delicious.
All these ideas. First of all, here's the thing. I love inventive people. As long as you take ingredients that are good for you and you put it together in something that's delicious, then you're eating it for the rest of the week. I hear energy and taste good, and I'll do it every day.
That's delicious.
So coming over here.
And it's fun.
Peter, where do you find the cereal, by the way?
You can find it in many, many supermarkets across the country, and there's 6 flavors, so not every supermarket will have every one, but they're all available.
All right, so come over here. One last thing. Bob is living proof that you can do a lot of things at any age, and you created the 3-3-3 challenge. So I made you a little 3, and I put the 3s in the categories, so explain this to folks.
Pay attention to this because whether you're dieting or you're not dieting at all, 3 servings a day of fruit, 3 servings a day of vegetables, and 3 servings of whole grain Grainberry with onyx sorghum.
Again, you want to get your antioxidants spread out, take them through real foods as well. You know what? Come on, let's get this to the audience. Who wants one flake? I don't have enough for everybody, but one flake at a time.
Everybody gets one flake?
Well, you have a better idea?
How generous can we be?
Yes. It's the absolute least I can do. What do you think, Peter? What should I do?
I think you should at least give 1 box to every...
Give them 2 boxes.
2 boxes, everybody? 2 boxes, everybody in the audience. Go ahead and enjoy it. To help you get started with this challenge, and thanks to our trusted sponsorship partner, Grainberry, beginning tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we're one of the first 1,000 people to go to DrOz.com, receive a coupon for a berry box, or rather a free box of Grainberry cereal. You know what? Thank you very much for being here. Thanks to my trusted sponsorship partner, Grainberry, the entire audience, as you just heard from the boss.
Thank you.
You're all going home with 2 boxes. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be right back. Did a great job.
The secret to better sleep.
It's your genetic wake-sleep schedule.
This changes everything.
Find out exactly which one of these animals you are and what they mean for your sleep and for your waistline.
All new Oz.
That's coming up on Wednesday. All right, take a look at this. You got it? And how about this? Ooh, that's so cool. That's Paris. And how about this? That's right here in New York. That's the Brooklyn Bridge, but it's not the scenes, it's the chin you're probably noticing. It's the latest body-positive social media craze, chinning, and it has gone viral. And the pioneer is Michelle Liu. Her Instagram chin ventures of what she calls chin fees around the world is changing the face of selfies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I love this. I don't know, what gave you the idea? Most people avoid this kind of a look.
Yeah, so originally in middle school, I was a little insecure about my looks, and then instead of taking traditional photos, I decided to take chinning photos instead to make my friends laugh, and they loved it, so I just continued it into college, and then my junior year of college, I studied abroad. So at that point, I decided to combine my love of traveling and chinning together to create my Instagram account, Chin Ventures.
Well, you've got tens of thousands of folks who just love what you're doing. They sign up, they give you positive feedback. How's that feel?
Honestly, I'm just so grateful and appreciative for it. I think it's so inspiring that other people are actually inspired by this account. I never imagined that to happen, and I definitely really enjoy and appreciate everyone for it.
So I want you to teach me how to do a chin fee.
Yeah, sure.
So what's the maneuver?
Sure. So, yeah, you scrunch up your little chin.
Right, how do you, just like this?
Just like that.
You know, I actually did some homework on this. There's a whole medical science. So to have a chin fee, you have to relax the sternocleidomastoid. Those are the lateral neck muscles. Everyone do this in the audience. Let me see you all do it. Come on, don't be bashful. No one's going to see except people at home. Like this, all right? And you naturally open your mouth when you relax those muscles. Okay, go ahead. Now let me get the chin fee. Tense up. I'm going to post this picture on my Instagram page. And I love what you're doing. You keep it up. You be positive, body positive, and make us all more comfortable.
Thank
God bless
you so much.
Shut up, everybody. Remember, happy and healthy, it starts at home.